Wow, that's loud. Okay, before I get started, I've got a estate agent's phone here that I swiped, so I'm just going to give this to the judges. We'll come back to that later, okay? Not permanently, I might need to give it back to the guy. Anyway, so we're GlassMove. So we came across, we're trying to come up with some ideas, and we noticed that, well, we're first years, not entirely. We've got a bunch of computing undergrads, we're all hackers. Everyone in the team is a programmer. We all want to make some cool stuff really quickly. So that's what we did. So the whole idea came around, we want to find somewhere to live. And often, like, you'll see, you go to your mates who are in maybe high years in Fulham and all these awful places around London which aren't South Kensington. And you're like, well, how much does it cost to rent to live here? Like, how much do you have to pay to live in this god-awful place? And, how many bedrooms do I get for my many £100 a week or whatever? So it really centered around this whole life after halls. When we realized that this is a problem that lots of people have when they're on the commute and they want to live a bit closer, they don't want to sit on the tube for 2 hours a day, all that sort of stuff. So that's what we moved on. So we realized that the Google Glass is really good for this sort of stuff because it's not something you really want to research too much. You've already got somewhere. You just want to be like, hey, I'm just curious, what is it like? So that's what we went and did. We use Google Glass, we use SendGrid, because they've got fantastic email stuff. And we've got Zoopla, because we need to get the property information from somewhere. Okay, so we're going to go on and say, ask Glass, okay, what is the rent here? So if we switch over, so this is all based on your current location. Okay, Glass, what is the rent here? So this is all live right now from Zoopla using the location of the phone on the desk there. So that's why it takes a little while to think about it. So it's looked at it and it's really, average price per week here is £409. So it's 0 kilometres because I pre-configured this to come to Imperial College London. So as I'm at Imperial College London, it's only going to say 0. So we can move on, if it works. And we can see some buildings in the area. So we can swipe through, see what's available. This looks pretty nice, mere £350 a week for 1 bedroom. I don't know, let's say I missed the money bags. I've sold my app for $80 million or something. And so I could email the agent using all the SendGrid stuff. That gives us really good granularity on it, so we can actually see what's going on and whether they've opened the email and all that sort of stuff. Or we could phone them. Or maybe we're trying to rent this place with some friends. We want to share it with our friends. So we have a circle. We don't want to share it with everyone. We only want to share it with people we want to live with. Otherwise, some other guy's going to snap it up. So we need to use circles. Let's say we're going to phone the agent. So what this does is this launches straight away a phone call. And if you might remember the phone earlier, if I remember to take it off silent, it should make some noise. Okay.
How are you?
So you can't hear this. Maybe you can if I do this. Talk into it again.
I do.
So there we go. So this is, if I'd taken it off silent, it'd be much more impressive, I'm sure. So there we've got a call right now with the estate agent, and he can go and take all my money and the huge cut of the fee for the other guy as well. So that's the application. So if we go back to the slide real quick. So this is a nice little hack, and maybe it kind of be useful if we had Google Glass everywhere. We could just be like, hey, how much does it cost to live here? But we thought we can take this beyond the hack. So when Google Glass, because the price is high now, but it's going to come down. It is going to become ubiquitous because smartphones were expensive, and now everyone's got one. Now you've got them made in China, and you can buy them for 40 quid. So it's going to come down, this sort of technology. And we look at all the other companies that are doing property stuff, like Rightmove and Zoopla and Prime Location. And these massive networks, they work by bridging the gap between you and the estate agent just like us. And we see ourselves as a complement to their technology. So you can use the website, or you could just ask Google Glass, how much does it cost to rent here? So we would often, as an app, we would try and maybe sell to these companies, sell our technology, sell our services. Alternatively, we could set ourselves up as an alternative network of properties which other people who are fortunate enough to have the Google Glass could just use to ask how much does it cost to rent here. Thank you. We're GlassMove. Thanks for listening.
Okay, when Cheers, guys. Come forward for questions. What's the floating point? Do you want to come down?
So, I know you couldn't demonstrate it in here, but is there an augmented reality feature in that to look at what's in your street that you're in at the moment?
So that's something that we would, so it actually does use the street you're in at the moment, and what we would like to aim for is augmented reality. Look at the building across the street and see displayed on the windows that it costs £219 a week to live in there. Unfortunately, the granularity of the data we're using from Zoopla isn't good enough. A lot of the estate agents don't like to give direct addresses. So we would actually need to build our own network perhaps by contacting estate agents specifically to get that sort of information. But yes, definitely somewhere to take it further.
No more questions? Cool. Thanks, guys.